The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Are you ready to take a journey? Let's connect with the healers of the world. It's that time. It's time for the Language of Healing on W4WN Radio and Talk 4 TV. Now here's your host, Dr. Nicole Fortin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Language of Healing, W4WN.com, every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The language of healing. Healing comes from many experiences in our lives. And one of them that is such a big time player in so many of our lives is cancer. And there are so many different forms. I don't even know what the statistics are these days. 1 in 5, 1 in 6 of us will experience that personally. Maybe someone we know, we love, has gone through that. Has survived or has passed on. So today I wanted to honor all of the experiences and opportunities that arise from when we face a diagnosis of cancer. And today we have a very special guest who has a very inspirational story to share about her journey going through this while having some history she'll share with us, but she also started and is running a business through all of that. So, this is a inspirational journey about resilience and hope and not neglecting the painful, challenging parts of it. And if you or someone you know is going through this, please have a seat, grab your cup of tea, and join us. And help me welcome our guest today, Miss Charlie Hudson from the UK, which is so exciting. Hello.
Hi, Nicole. How are you?
Hi. Oh, I'm fine. Thank you. Yeah, we're here. We're probably experiencing the similar things. October, it's spooky season, and I know that you love this time of year.
Number one time of year. Love Halloween. On all things to do with it, all the spooky, the Samhain, do you know what I mean? The original, all the rituals that you get to perform at this time of year, plus all the fun stuff. Love it.
Yeah. As we get here in the Northern Hemisphere, our skies, the daylight gets less, more darkness comes in. And sometimes, the darkness is like a cold, dark place as opposed to the vibrant sun.
Love it. Love the autumn.
Yeah. More internal, the veil is thin this time of year, and that means that the bridge between our worlds, our conscious, unconscious, or the material, immaterial, is
it's a good time for magic. Yeah, it's the new year. It's essentially the new harvest year. It's a perfect time for healing, and it's a perfect time for reflection as well.
Mm-hmm.
Draw close and dark, and you start to hibernate.
Yes.
Thinking about the craziness.
Yeah. And as the seasons roll and change over, just like day and night, it teaches us that some moments of our lives are, have a dark period. And then there are some, the peaks and valleys of it. So
yeah.
When I met, we met, you and I met at a festival in the summer. And I was really inspired just by the work that you were doing and your vibrancy. And just easy conversation, and you surprised me when you had this incredible story to share. So
it kind of takes a back seat sometimes because I think it was so extraordinary and crazy that I think sometimes it's easier just to carry on like it never happened sometimes when you go forward. So it's not kind of something that's at the forefront. It doesn't define me. So,
yeah, of course, yeah.
So really?
So it's no surprise that you went through cancer. Diagnosis, treatment, recovery. Yeah. And so when you first received that news, what was it that motivated you to, get in that mindset of, I'm going to move forward?
Oh, well, I mean, at the time, so in brief, I got diagnosed about 11 months after COVID hit. And I'd got my business a week before COVID hit. So I'd lost all my money and we're about to try and start to open the business initially. And then got diagnosed on February the 9th, 2021. And it was high stage 3, triple negative breast cancer. So really rare, aggressive, non-hormonal type of cancer. It was a large tumor, and I just got told I had 9 days to get your head around having a double mastectomy. So, you know, at the time, it was a case of it kind of got in the way. I didn't really have time for it. I was like, I really don't have time for this, you know. And I think the way I am anyway, I'm a hyper focused queen, you know. So I was super focused on trying to get this business open that had already been gazumped by COVID, and then double whammy of a quite horrific cancer diagnosis as well. So, but I think I don't know, maybe it's the way my mind works, but it's you know, I couldn't carry on doing anything else, so I had to just treat this as a full-time job if I was going to carry on doing other things. So it was just another challenge in the way of the you know, the dream, the goal. It was like, right, okay. Like sometimes much going on, you know, you want something doing, you give it to a busy person. That's the saying, isn't it? So I think when you're that busy anyway, it's like, right, okay, we'll just add it in. I'll just add it on. You know, I'll just crack on, and then it's just day at a time. I think breaking it down was sort of how I did it. Really, just I called it I don't know if I can swear on here, but a bull crap sieve, you know, so like a sieve of all the crap that you don't need. It all of a sudden happens, and then you become focused on what's really important, what the actual real goal is. All the fluff goes away, and you're just left with this streamlined choices, you know.
Yeah, and you said, you know, you mentioned like, oh, I don't have time for this. Like, isn't that the truth? You know, when sometimes, like, often we're confronted with a challenge that's a bit of an immediate, urgent situation.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't have time.
You can't think about it. There's no processing time. There's no, you know, and also with it being COVID time as well, everything was done solo. There was no, you couldn't take anybody with you. There was nobody else in the wards apart from patients and nurses and doctors. That was it. There was no one else there. So there was, you know, it was a lot of like sort of having to be really aware of everything that was being said and try and understand it. Well, normally you'd have someone there to sort of mop that stuff up, and so you really had. It was a really crazy, dystopian time. Really, it was like it just felt really unreal and quick. Yeah, quick. No processing time at all. And I think at that point you just go into autopilot. Really, I think. And,
no real time to sit and dwell in it. Just action, moving forward.
Yeah.
So you had this. This inspiration, and what a surreal experience to be isolated like that in a time where healing and these kind of experiences really benefit from the support of our friends and family, and it's huge to receive that news with others.
Yeah, because a lot of the healing journey is to do with your peers. I mean, I'm a trustee of a charity called York Breast Friends, and we make mastectomy cushions and bags for people who just woke up and they get these lovely cushions that go under, and we do loads of meetups and stuff like that. And like I found them in COVID. I woke up from my mastectomy with these bag of cushions and these women, and so in the hospitals you usually have these peers with you there doing it, you know. So the importance of a peer support and friends and family, I think it's really you really underestimate how much they have, you know, how much they contribute to the healing journey. When they're not there, it really puts a weight on it, you know.
Your best friends, I like that. That's so cute. So okay, so you've started this business now. COVID hits, you've got this diagnosis. 9 days later, you're in for a double mastectomy. And then what? And then I know that what I like about your story is that you really integrated both Eastern and Western medicine therapies. because this is a big, topic of discussion when it comes to cancer treatment, because I'm coming from Chinese medicine and
Yeah,
acupuncture, and we view, it's been around for thousands of years, like upwards of 5,000 years. It's like,
it works, right?
yeah, well, I mean, it must for
Yeah,
it to be around for the empirical evidence is in the longevity of the medicine, and we have, views of cancer, what that is.
honestly.
So, but nowadays in the modern world, there's so much research and attention that goes to the Western medicine side, which is a wonderful gift, you know. I think having access to some of these treatments and understanding around it, but to blend in, uh,
Yeah,
some of the, because it's like coming back to yourself, coming back, like, in a way, like if cancer or any kind of illness is just, like a disease, it's like how to um, rebalance
well, everyone's
that.
individual as well.
Yeah,
Everyone's totally individual.
yeah,
So,
yeah, true. You can
like
tailor
especially
it to you
every
specifically.
cancer is different. I think the word itself carries so much gravitas that it shouldn't carry. And I
Yeah,
think we should be saying it
I
should
know
be
it
like
sounds like a dirty word, right? What, like,
the
it's
shame. I mean, I haven't got time to go into how I feel about the shame that's attached to it, but you know,
uh,
the actual
that's
gravitas
an
of the word.
important
And
piece.
actually, if they said to me, "You've got triple negative lymphoma," I'd be like, "Okay, right," but like it's the way they come at you with the cancer, and that does so much damage mentally
Mm.
before you've even started. But yeah, to go on to the Western medicine, I get really the word cancer just riles me sometimes. But everyone's so individual with it that the blanket chemotherapies and the blanket treatments that that you can't. Everyone's journey is bespoke. They have MDT meetings on a Monday, and every single patient is talked about, and all the different oncologists decide. But and their treatments are great, and the treatments work. But what the side effects the treatments cause is something that shocked me to the core. And
Mm.
I'm lucky that I have a lot of really close friends in different in sort of Eastern medicine, and in herbalism and juicing and wellness and eating clean and all that kind of thing. So I was lucky with my journey that as soon as I got diagnosed, my friend Gid, he works in a health food shop and he's a juicing guru. He grows organic vegetables. He's just the man. And he just rang me up and he said, "I'm not asking you to take anything out of your daily diet. I'm not asking you to take anything, change anything, but just add the juice in." He said, add the juice, it was a masticating juicer. It was vegetable juice. I was allowed to put one apple in it to sweeten it up, but it was pure veg juice. It was turmeric, it was ginger, it was, flaxseed, linseed, it was certain supplements, and it was literally to keep your body working, putting oil in, putting like 4-star fuel in or whatever. It's about making your engine clean and clear and making those work, because as soon as the chemo's hit, all your fast reproducing cells go. So your digestive system, your bowels, your intestinal tract, your mouth, your private bits all go, and then you can't digest, or you can't move this chemotherapy in and through your body and out, which is what you want it to do. If you're stuffing your face with McDonald's and your liver's not cleansed and your kidneys aren't cleansed and your bloods aren't clean, because if your liver's not functioning, your blood's clear, you're getting brain fog. It's like treating your body as a machine. And what they do with the Western medicine side effect stuff is, it's like, oh, you're feeling sick, here's an anti-sickness drug. Oh, you can't poo, here's a laxative. Oh, you've got diarrhea, here's something to toughen you up. Here's you need to take these steroids because we're pumping you full of this. So and it's just all these band-aids. And while they work for some people, I could see people struggling, and I was going through harsher chemos than I saw people going through because of the complementary things I was doing. I was okay after a week. So I had a chemo once every 3 weeks, and I had a 3-week plan of supplements. And I had a herbalist in Australia that my friend was friends with. they live in the Blue Mountains, and she gave me these tinctures. They were expensive, but she was Chinese medicine, Indian medicine, a combination of everything. And she'd had cancer, but she worked as an oncologist in Sydney. And she taught me, she gave me the tinctures, but she taught me about the enemas and water fasting in and around chemotherapy. You know what I mean? It's, so adding the juice in, and then all these other things, which we can, I'll try not to ramble on about it, but there's all of these things that the Western stuff that they try and band-aid you with can easily be, you've just got to make your body strong enough to deal with the chemotherapy, and you've got to know what the chemotherapy is doing. And after 48 hours of chemo in your body, it doesn't do anything to the cancer anymore, but it's just sat there killing fast gene producing cells. So the key is to get it in, let it do its job, and then get it the hell out. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but you don't get told any of that, and there's so much going on that, no one does. And then also in COVID, there was no one to tell you, oh, you can go to the complementary therapist and she can tell you this, that, and the other, So, all these things that I did, I've got 100% liver and kidney function. I had one of the chemos that's called the Red Devil, EC chemo. I couldn't tell you the long name. And then I had one called doxytaxel and Zazio injections, daily injections, and that made the white blood cell grow in your body. They were horrendous. You know what I mean? So, but what
it's
more
really no joke. No joke.
No.
It's a very challenging thing.
It's crazy, but the way that people don't get their body to strong enough to deal with it, I find absolutely crazy.
Yeah, that's like one of the key parts around like the Eastern, medicine ideologies is that our body is an environment meeting an external environment. So to be able to read what is your internal environment, everyone's a little different. Maybe you need a little bit more water, or like a little bit more heat, or a little bit more moisture. Maybe the environment's like very dry, but and this it's mainly seen as like a toxic accumulation. Like when there's something stuck, it's like burning fudge on the stove. Like it gets sticky and it doesn't move. You need to, kind of get some flow in there, some more movement,
It's about knowledge of your own body as well. Like a lot of people don't know their own bodies.
Right.
They don't know, that they run low on iron, or they run low on this and stuff like that. There's a lot of people just don't know. And when I met, Ali Sanchez was my herbalist in Blue Mountains, and when I met her, she was looking at my eyes, my tongue. She was asking me all kinds of lifestyle questions I had never even thought about. And she, and she was the way she taught me to, 500 calories of raw veg before chemo, 500 calories of raw veg after chemo, drinking water all the way through, and then doing an enema 48 hours afterwards to move the stuff out of your system. You have 3 weeks after each chemo. And the first week, I did it in Britney Spears, you'll like this. So the first week's toxic week. Your second week is vulnerable week, and then your third week is your party one. So your first week is toxic Britney in the, in the air stewardess outfit. Second week is she's shaving her head and she's going crazy. And the third week you can do what you want before they blast you again. But I was okay after 1 week. I was having 2 okay weeks, rather than I was vulnerable, but
That's
I was
huge.
energetic. I could walk, I could do my movements. I was happy. I wasn't brain foggy, because I did what they wanted me to do first. I did what the oncologist wanted me to do first with all the Band-Aid medicine. Then my second chemo, I got to do how I wanted. And the difference was out of this world different.
Yeah, that's such a huge difference for someone going through that, to be able to have that, even an extra day of feeling okay, or a little bit of like a better recovery. But
feeling good.
Yeah, it's possible. Through, and that's where the blend of the two therapies is so nice. But there is a bit of resistance. It's not always very easy combination. But I think that more and more it is easier. And you had to fight. You had to stand up for that. You know. And I think that because there's so much information out there, it's really hard to anchor in on what is going to be right for you. And I don't think that, I have a strong belief that you need to see a professional with experience in that. You can't just
100%.
read it off the internet, and because that's, can be very misleading and not specifically for you, tailored
Yeah,
for you.
it's more. It's what the message I try and get out there is that there is questions to be asked, and if you feel like you need more, then that you go find it out. And if you hear something that you think might work for you, get in touch or go and research it. You know what I mean? But there are professionals out there who know what they're doing. Yourself, Ali Sanchez. There's brilliant people out there, and I think you get so blindsided when you're going into this diagnosis that there's so much to take in. You just go, yep, I'll do that. Yep, I'll do that. Yep, I'll do that. And no one knows that you can ask questions, or you can get second opinions, or, you can, there's, you don't have to do what they're telling you. You can go, well, that doesn't actually work for me. You can be honest about how you're feeling and what things are doing. And, there's a lot, you just sort of, you rub it in the headlights. But it's trying to give the power back to the people when they're in that treatment process of going, right, there are things you can do to take some control back of your body in the time you shouldn't have to have no life while you're going through treatment. And there are ways of being able to go for lovely walks and, do some exercise, whether it's on your stepper or whatever, or just go outside. You can't be in the sun, but there's take a parasol. There's, you know what I mean? It's just like,
I know, and that's such an interesting thing. Like, can't be in the sun when the sun is such a healing, like, tool for us, right?
Mentally and on your, mentally for me massively, and then on your, obviously on your vitamin D, and you need your vitamin D for your immune system, and it's like you take it away. But if you actually go in the sun, it burns really quickly. It's so thin. It's crazy. Yeah.
So there is that part of the, supporting someone through that treatment is like the alternative therapy is really just like, I think it's original therapies. It's like how to kind of restore your body back to like a source energy where it is whole, perfect, creative, resourceful, and doing the best that it can do at any given time with what it has. But there's also the big part of like the mental side, the mindset, the peer group, the support. And what I notice about you is that, just your love of laughter and the comedic side of life. So tell me about the role that played in your journey.
Oh my God, huge. I mean, I went into, my operation was on a Tuesday. And we me and my friends, I actually didn't tell anybody I was going through it. I had a private group of friends. I found the comms really intense. So I had a private group, and that private group just grew and grew, unfortunately. But we called the Tuesday Tits Off Tuesday. My friend makes merchandise, so I actually went into the hospital on my own, obviously, because it was COVID, with a Tits Off Tuesday hoodie and tote bag, and do you know what I mean, and all those kind of things. But I've got my prosthetic boobs. I've got squeakers in.
Squeakers.
I've got nipples. Because I'm still waiting for my rebuild at the moment. I'm 4 years, so it's coming. I'm literally at the top of the list. So I'll have tits for Christmas.
Yeah.
I think my friends were great. I'm not very good with sympathy. I had a lot of work to do while I was doing it, but comedy, I mean, I just love laughing. It's a loud laugh. I'm trying to keep it down for it, but you've got to laugh and joke about it, otherwise, because what else are you going to do? You can't sit and mope around. It's bad for you. You need the drugs that are released into your body when you're laughing, when you're happy, the endorphins, all of those things are so important. And, one of the things, because we're in the peer group, because we're in the charity, and I do, some women do come to me for a little bit of coaching when they get diagnosed. And, one of the things I'm just like, it's just another day. It's just another day. Get up, laugh, go into your garden, do your bits. If you feel shit, go to bed. Do you know what I mean? Just do those things. But whack a comedy on. There's nothing to say you can't watch, Blackadder or Red Dwarf, or there's nothing to say you can't put, Saturday Night Live on or something and just laugh. It's not illegal. You know what I mean? And it's one of the best things. And having people around you who don't take things seriously. Like, I didn't like this. Are you okay? The left head tilt, I called it.
Yeah.
How are you doing? I'm fine. I'm obviously not fine. I'm obviously not doing okay.
Yeah.
But, how was your treatment last week? Or, just the language you use and the way you are with somebody who's going through that. My friends learned to laugh and joke about it because they knew that was the tonic I needed.
Yeah, and I think everyone is different, a little bit different with that.
They are.
So yeah, what else could you speak about, like, towards that, is, how what's the best way to approach somebody going through this
Yeah.
if it's someone that you really care about and you do just want to know, like,
And I think
and be there for them.
I completely, that's something that I feel quite passionate about, because it scares a lot of people off, and you don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know exactly how to navigate that,
Yeah.
right? I don't want to
And
offend someone.
the
Like,
best way to navigate that is to literally go in and say, right, I don't know how to navigate this. I
mhm,
need to know from you how you want me to navigate this. What do you need from me? And 9 times out of 10, a lot of my friends didn't even ask me what I needed. They just bring me around something. And that was great because I didn't have a decision to make. You know what I mean? So I brought you an ice cream because I knew your mouth was sore. Thanks. One of my friends sent me one of those big freak shakes to turn up at the door, and I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. And it was just what I needed. So it's about, the person. Forget what they're like. The cancer doesn't define you. Remember what they were like. Remember what they liked. Remember what they like to do. Remember how they like to feel. And then just approach honestly and candidly, I think, but do approach, because I think one thing that does happen is people back off, and you don't need that. Do you know what I mean? You just need people to just be like, right, okay, how are we going to tackle this? What things do you need in your arsenal? Let's go. That's what you need, and just people to make light of it, because you're still living your life,
yeah, and it is like a temporary, squeeze that, and laughter and the lightheartedness creates space. Like, it relaxes the body versus being so
and it puts you in a good headspace as well.
Yeah. On that note, is there anything else that you would add to someone listening that's maybe going, just received some news like around this, or is going through that
I think
chemo of any kind, or even the radiation that
there's so many different treatments, isn't there? I mean, it's just there's immunotherapy now and stuff as well, and I find it hard to keep up with. You have to keep up with it all, because otherwise you can't give advice, but you can only
that's the thing.
What happened to you. But advice for people going forward is take a step back and breathe. Get into breathing practices. Be self-aware. You're a one-woman army or a one-person army. These people around you are there, but essentially you need to be right in your own head, and you need to be with the support you've got around you, and you need to understand what is going on with you and your body, and no question is stupid.
I think the more educated you can be and
100%.
know about what's going on is relief. It's like it settles some part of our mind that puts it like a little bit of perspective, and
because
reality.
one of the things is with like perspective and how you view. I can't remember what I was going to say. How you're viewing things, and when people, what you put out there is what you need to get in. Basically, you need to, if you want to be positive. I can't think what I was going to say. I've lost it.
I know. I have a squirrel brain too. Squirrel. That's okay. It's all welcome here.
Spicy brains don't help when it comes to it. I'll tell you one thing I did want to say about the menopause quickly.
Yes.
And the
yes, because you were kicked into that because of the and disruption of all hormones
halfway through. So the menopause, I wasn't aware the menopause was going to be happening at all when the chemo started, and all of a sudden, obviously our hair fell out after the second treatment, and I embraced that. I quite enjoyed that. I looked a bit rock punky. I was okay with that. And then all of a sudden it started sweating out the top of my head, and I was getting these hot flushes, and I was like, oh, maybe that's the chemo, maybe that's this. And no, it wasn't. It was the menopause, and so that was, we're going back to the education thing. It's about really educating yourself on what journey you're going to be going through, and how you can help yourself basically in your own mind, because at the end of the day you are going to be going through it on your own, but that's nothing to be scared of, because everyone's a great person in there. You've got to make sure you're educated, and make sure you know everything about what you're doing, and if it can be done better for you. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's just the strength from within, and the knowledge, the experience, and the openness of being receptive to there is a lot out there, but
Yeah.
hearing
The
different things
fear thing
and
as well, and people can tell you everything, but you've got to take away from things.
yeah.
There's a lot of information out there, and it's hard to get. It's really easy to get blindsided. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to pick the wheat from the chaff. But if I can give advice to anybody, it's about looking after your body. Go vegan. Look into water fasting. Look into tinctures. Look into how you can add things into your body to make it run like a well-oiled machine as best it can with all the poisons going in.
Yeah, and that's another piece of this. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Our environment isn't always the most supportive thing for us. The foods, that we're given, like even the clothes, the environment, the air, the water. There's so many elements that
Yeah.
could be, taking little nicks off of our vitality or resilience. If you can really target some key elements or like food therapies or practices
Huge.
that help notch us up. I mean, that's a win. Like
you gotta just
clean the blood.
You gotta keep leveling up, basically leveling up. And
Yeah,
I do eat meat now, but I did a completely vegan through the whole thing. I treat my treatment like a full-time job, and I knew exactly. And it was like, right, this is at that time, that's at that time. And I'm ADHD, and I'm on a tiny bit on the spectrum as well. So I had the spreadsheets, but I've got the autistic side going, yeah, spreadsheets, and I've got the ADHD side going, oh, But the vegan thing, I really, really got into, and how I got really addicted to the juice because of how it made me feel. So you've just got to battle through and know that it's going to feel good. It's going to feel good. You're going to feel better. But the vegan thing was the biggest surprise. Having full function, digestive function through that. When I was watching people who were stuffing biscuits in and doing all this stuff, even to when you're having chemotherapy, you get a nasty taste in your mouth, and they're all having tea and biscuits. And my herbalist sent me some gingins, which is a ginger sweet from a health food shop. Stuck it on one of them, ginger, anti-sickness, and it tastes great. So your mouth doesn't taste of crap, and your sickness goes down.
yeah.
And then you're stuffing sweets in it, it's making them feel sicker, and then they're having
Well, and that's an interesting thing because I think that I know our emotions play a big role in the foods that we choose to match our mood, and we might have some associations with like sweet things in particular.
Yeah.
It's because sweetness counteracts on bitterness. So, to face the bitterness of life, we might naturally crave something sweet.
Yeah.
Or maybe we need something a little bit more astringent or pungent or salty to balance out. Like if we're talking
it's the
energetic.
yin and yang, isn't it? It's the umami, it's the sweet and sour. Like for sweets, for me, I mean, I didn't deny myself chocolate.
Right. Yeah.
Chocolate, I'd have
enjoy it and like really enjoy it because that's also healthy too.
I love crisps. I love chips.
So maybe everyone, maybe biscuits is just like that joy for someone else. But but just I think that's a good thing to be aware of is what are you eating it for?
Well, eating it at the right times as well. So when you're having chemotherapy, don't go eating things that aren't going to digest well.
Yeah, you want like that's a natural order of life, and that's how we maintain a good healthy lifestyle, like with longevity, is when we're living in accordance with the natural laws of us and the world around us. If we're constantly swimming upstream, that's a lot of energy. It's not very productive, and it just brings us a little bit down. So the awareness of, okay, what am I doing this for? Oh, this. Yeah, I've noticed, like, I like coffee. I do enjoy coffee.
Oh, I drank so much tea.
Yeah.
I drink tea. Yeah. I literally, I have sugar in my tea. So I had my sweet tea because that was a dopamine kick for me. My tea in the morning is my dopamine, but then I was having, I was having juice and I was having fresh fruit and I was having.
Right, like if you have something that, it's like take a key component of what you like about that. And then maybe there's also something else like, well, what else could bring me sweetness in life, like, and just temporarily, like it doesn't have to be forever, or you could just
poaching pears, poaching Japanese pears.
Oh, lovely.
With natural sugars, sugarcane. It's just the process side of things. There's definitely ways of doing it. I mean, also depends on what you've got. You've got to do what you can. You've got to do what within your means. There's no point in going, I'm going to do all of these things and not doing them. So that's another bit of advice, actually. That is, it was okay for me. I had a few people there helping me out. I wanted some poached pears. Someone had poached some pears. But then if you haven't got those people there or anything, to do those things, don't set yourself up to fail in those scenarios. So do what you can achieve every day. If you can achieve adding juice in, add the juice in. If you can achieve being vegan, do that, because anything's going to help it. You know what I mean? So you can do a little or a lot, but I just think that all these things are overlooked so much. As we were talking at the festival, we were saying, God, I just feel like, you don't want to give someone bad information, but you want people to at least give, think about, is there ways that I can help me get through this? And I just feel like the information's not there, and, we need to get the information out there.
Yeah. Right. They're just starting the conversation.
Yeah, just the conversation is great. It's just perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your business, because that's a big win.
Yeah.
And so, how did going through something like this keep you motivated to see the business through? And then tell us, a little bit about what's going on there in your world.
So that was the craziest thing in the world, because I couldn't be in my business when it opened, because I was obviously, it was COVID, and if I got COVID, my immune system couldn't handle it. So I hired a team. I opened the bar because we had no money left. We lost all our money. So all my friends came in, and I was on my chemo, sat on my little bench, and all my friends are painting, and we got one half of the business open, which was the pizzeria. So it was Charlie's Pizzeria and the Hi-Ho Club. The Hi-Ho Club was a secret speakeasy. Charlie's Pizzeria was the cover. It was like a 1920s New York style pizzeria, with all mafia, where the mafia was, behind counting the money kind of thing. So we opened that in the September after my diagnosis, September 21. And then we managed to trade it for a year. We opened downstairs, but there was that much debt from when we were closed. We lost a lot of money, and then we got accruing debt as we couldn't open, because we didn't fall in. We fell through every crack with the government help. It was a night traded yet. So
that was a tricky time if you were like just around that cutoff and you didn't get.
Laws are getting created as you're going, so you just kept falling through every crack. I've been poorly as well. I was like, I just haven't got it in me to navigate. Let's just open, let's just go. I'm just moving forward, move forward. It was like, right, next day. That's basically how we did it. And then they closed that one down after a year. The bills went up, like the electric bills went up £1,000 in 1 month. That was the difference of me paying my debt to the landlord. I was paying rent and then paying off what we owed. It wasn't much. It was like 15 grand. It was pennies when you think about it now, but at the time, when you've got nothing, it's massive, So so we closed it down. It was a limited company, closed it down, paid all my independent traders off, worked really hard to do that. And 2 weeks later, I got a call from a lovely couple called Gordon and Maz, and they own a cafe in town called the Harlequin. And they were like, we've got a space. You need a space. Do you want to go for a wine? So we went for a wine, but at the end of 2 bottles of wine, I had a new bar. And because I was better at this point, I wasn't better. I thought I was better at the time. I look at myself now and I think, God, you were so well. But at the time when you finished your chemo, you feel like you could take on the world. You feel like a Superman, So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. 2 weeks later, I started opening that place, and because I did it on my own, because I was like, I can paint. So 4 days. I was like, I could do it on my own 4 days, and I'm like, I just decorated this whole thing. And if you go on the Instagram, the Hi-Ho Club 2, you can see at the bottom, you'll see where it shows you what it was like and how it was 4 days later when we opened. And I just did it on my own. I had help on a Saturday night, and I just did it on my own for a year or two, and then I got a manager in, and we're 3 years. On the 18th of November, we've been open. And I now own a company called Shaken & Co as well, which I bought in January with some investors. And everything's now coming up, Charlie.
Wow, yes.
5 years. It was a year and a half of hard work before COVID hit, getting licenses and buildings and stuff. So for me, it's been a good 7 years of hard slog. So a good 5.5 years behind due to COVID and cancer, but we're there. So
yeah,
which
no
is
time like now.
Yeah. But now I'm just waiting for my my rebuild. So
Yeah. Titties for Christmas.
it's for Christmas.
I love it.
So excited. So I'm really hoping. So it's supposed to be last month, but I'm at the top of the list. I'm just waiting. But yeah, it's just I'm handing over my business to someone now who's going to look after it while I'm off, because it's a 3-month recovery. So yeah. So it's now hitting the big time, and now I've got to go for another surgery. Typical.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, that's like you said, sometimes you give more to people who are very busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to get it done. If you want to get
Forget about that. I can close the door then. Once that's done, I can fully close that door and just move forward, being positive about it with people. That's what I'm waiting for. And to have tits, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah. So can we? What's the links for if we want to find you and visit the Hi Ho Club?
Well, yeah. So
or the Shaking Co.
I don't know how to type it up here on this. I'm technophobe. So basically, it's the highhoclub.com. If you go on there, it tells you. I don't know how to type it onto this thing.
Here, I think I can do it.
Okay, yeah, you do it. Yeah.
HIHOCLUB.com.
That's the one. And then the other one is Shaken, SHAKEN, and AND.co. Yeah. So if you're in England and you need a mobile bar or a cocktail masterclass, or you just want to come and have some delicioso cocktails with stories, get yourself down to the Hi Ho Club or give us a call.
Okay, wonderful. Is the speakeasy still part of that?
Yeah, that's the speakeasy. So the Hi Ho Club is the speakeasy, yeah. So
and the pizzeria, you still have that?
The pizzeria's gone. That was with the old business.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So you just now get to a big red door in the square, in beautiful King's Square in York. Absolutely top of the shambles, absolutely beautiful. And you get there. If you go onto the website, you have to become a member, and then you get the password every week emailed to you. So you press the buzzer, say the password, we'll let you in.
Cool.
It's a carrot.
I love it. A good speakeasy is always a fun time. Yeah.
It's really fun. It's good. Cocktails are great. They're all stories and stuff. So there's one called Sugar Tits, which is about my journey.
Oh, great. What's in that one?
It's a raspberry sour. So raspberry gin, lemon, sugar, egg white with two comical red cherries on it.
Delicious. Yeah. I just love like a good mixologist,
you'd love our guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Take all the flavors.
Into my bar.
Pardon?
When you're next back, you'll have to talk.
Of course. I will make a special trip just for that.
Just for that.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Look, brilliant.
Yes.
What time?
Yeah, wow.
Oh, look at us. Wow, we just 45 minutes.
I know. Yeah, we're just about to wrap up here. So, yeah, and we talked a lot about your journey and I think a lot of good takeaways for people that
I hope so. That's the main thing for me, is that people can just think differently about it and not feel like it's not the end of everything, it's just another path, and there's ways you can navigate it in really positive ways to help yourself, give the power back to the people basically when it comes to treatments.
Yeah. And so what difference do you notice that having this experience for the last 5 years, like not lessons or teachings, but like what's different now than before?
Yeah, just your outlook on not taking things so seriously. I learned a lot of great lessons from losing the bar. All the bad things that happened, everything that's bad.
Yeah, all the business too.
Yeah, I mean, everything always comes out better. You know what I mean? And I think trusting the process was the biggest one for me. Trusting my own process, really looking within and really realizing how I work best. Not to beat myself up. You can't do anything you can't do. Just cruise through life and do what you can do and do it well, and just simple. Keep it simple, and nothing's as bad as it ever may seem. It's only as bad as it is you make it in your head. You know what I mean? There's always a way around it. If there isn't, get help, for God's sake.
But, don't be afraid to ask. Reach out.
Nothing stupid. Yeah, because it's a scary old time, and your peers are your peers. I think peers for me is the one. You can talk about all kinds of ugly things with your peers that normalize so many things that you might get stressed about. Like, I've got this rash here. It's like, don't be embarrassed. We've all had that rash, and this is what you do to deal with it. Oh, right, okay, nice one. So you're not going around going, I've got a really embarrassing rash. You're going, I've had a rash, she's had a rash, you know. So it just normalizes things and just lets you get on with your day and know the importance is life, not the diagnosis. You just got to get through it.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
And that is the big part of healing.
yeah.
The illness or the discomfort, disease is healing. That
And
that is to have an opportunity for these things to come up and
yeah,
expose themselves so they can clear and cleanse,
get it
you
out.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if we're talking like, cancer specific or the toxicity, like
Yeah.
that is what it is. It's a toxic heat,
Yeah.
It's like
And there's
and
so much toxic stuff in our day-to-day life that we don't even realize.
yeah. Yeah.
It's about looking at that and saying, well, I can live with that or I can't live with that. And if you can come out of it making some better changes to your life going forward, then great. You've got to have some takeaways from it, like you said.
Hmm. Yeah, they study those blue zones and
Yeah.
lots of studies around, happiness and what makes someone live a long life,
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
a century. And
Most of
there
them
are,
most of them in the East, aren't they? So
yeah, I mean, yeah, we've got some all over the world, but
yeah.
maybe it has to do with their, the cultural attitude of enjoying a bit more or
Yeah.
having that more relaxed, like community-based living, drink your wine and have your biscuits, but
Yeah.
and they're not bad, in
Yeah.
some aspect because it's part of. I love this about Chinese medicine is that
Yeah.
every organ or we talk about the clock or the body clock, and there's specific times of day that are for certain things,
Yeah.
and the hours between 7 to 9 p.m., is like what I call the happy hour. It's the social hour, interaction, things that,
Yeah.
build your heart, your spirit,
Fill your
cultivate your
cup.
spirit. Yeah, fill the
Yeah.
cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, that's also something to be aware or mindful of is what are you doing
Oh,
between
100%. And
7 to 9?
all the stuff in our modern society that drains your cup, like just ignoring it. And
Yeah.
have you got food on
And
the table? Is the bills paid? Have you got warm clothes? Literally the simple things.
yes, that's what it really comes down to are the things that really matter and what's
Yeah.
really important. And when you're aligned with that, things really do come into our sphere to support that journey.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not always easy, sometimes easier said than done, but just turn on some, just laugh a little bit or be around that person, like those
Yeah.
people
Just
that
don't take things too
fill
seriously.
your cup. Yeah, because
I
when
think
your cup is full, by the end of the night, your spirit is happy and can rest. And then
exactly.
that's where all of our, the night time comes and cleanses and rejuvenates our nervous system and cleanses our blood. And,
Sleep when
we're,
resting and getting a good night's sleep and worry is the worst thing for sleep. Worry and stress.
yes,
And then also the things that go along with the treatments, they're no good either. But if you can, get rid of all those worries and you have a good night's sleep, your body heals like 3 times as fast.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely. And then also, if I can just plug in, a little Chinese medicine,
yeah.
acupuncture, or
Oh God.
something, or
Yeah.
some practices like I love yoga nidra. It's yogic sleep. It's like getting your body into a deep meditative, like
Yeah.
a state, like a brainwave state
Yeah.
where
Not
you
just for 20
can.
minutes, but like for hours at a time.
Well, I mean, even then, you can maximize your 20 minutes. Can feel like 2 hours. I
Yeah.
think that's.
Oh my God. Yeah. Disco naps, I call those.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good one. I call them fancy naps. Fancy nap. Yeah.
Fancy nap.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, disco
Yes.
nap's the one for me. If you can get a little disco nap, and I can do 15 minutes and I'm good to go. If I'm in the
Yeah.
right blanket with the right temperature, and it's like you say, it's all those little things, isn't it, to make sure you're comfortable and getting that.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Yeah. And for you and your story, you had a strong purpose and resolve to. You were already on this mission of starting a business or creating something like that's quite
Yeah.
motivating as
I've
well.
got my sister's kids as well. So my sister passed away of the same cancer I had. So I've got children and they were becoming teenagers. So it was like, right, okay, now it's my time. Da, da, da. And it's
yeah.
like, oh, no, it's not.
Yes. Have something. Yeah. Do it for someone or for
Yeah.
people
Have
and
a purpose, even if
yeah,
you
purpose.
should be yourself, but it's always good. There's always responsibilities and things you want to, people you want to make proud, isn't there? So
Oh,
this is
yeah.
huge, isn't it?
Yeah. again, that sometimes like we are more motivated when it comes to someone else.
Yeah.
Like we're do it for, like we can do it for ourselves, and that's very important. Like you spoke to having the will to follow through and carry on, and
actually getting it done. If someone else told you the story, I'm crying. When I'm telling my story, I'm like, da, da, da. But it's like someone else is like, oh my God, that's awful. You always sympathize with the people more than yourself, don't you?
Yeah, right. I know. Being gentle on ourselves, that's a good takeaway. Be gentle and accept, face the date.
Accept it. Break it down.
Yeah, break it down. Yeah, exactly. That will relate to a lot of people that like the spreadsheets and time schedules and keeping us on schedule. Yeah.
And visuals are great, even if it's affirmations, if it's positive. Just don't take anything visually negative or anything. I just feel like all of those things, waking up going, you got that. I know it sounds so cheesy, but you got this, But I got loads of cards like that. My house looked like Elton John had moved in. There was that many flowers. But it was like those things were like, oh my God, this is great. This is me, And that made me feel really, that would just give me an extra bit of pep in my step. You know what I mean? So surround yourself with just positive things. If anyone's
positive things, positive people, good, happy environments, nice, nourishing foods.
Yeah, good
and
food. Filtered water.
Filtered water, yes. All good.
Really, really important thing for an organic vegetables is a really, really important thing as well. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so any listeners, you can contact Charlie at thehighhoclub.com or Shaken and Co.
Yeah.
Or shaken and .co.
It's shakenand.co. It's a good little web name, isn't it?
Yeah, beautiful. No, love it. Keep going.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's been great.
And enjoy your Christmas present. And can't wait to see you soon.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, everybody, thanks for tuning in today on the Language of Healing. And we'll see you next week, next time. Keep on shining. Thank you.
Wow, what a show today. And the journey does not stop here. Come travel the world with Nicole every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time as together we become more fluent in the language of healing on W4WN Radio and Talk4 TV. See you next week.